Welcome back, everybody, to the NCAA Next Up Dynasty here on NCAA Football 14. Today, we will be crowning a champion. As season number 2 comes to a close, we'll be wrapping up the first ever 12-team playoff. In case you missed one of the first 2 playoff episodes, I'll leave cards at the top right of the screen so you can go and check them out. So currently, we are down to 4 more teams. Clemson, Middle Tennessee State, Florida, and TCU all won in the last episode, and they have moved on to the semifinals. There were some crazy games in the last episode. Really, all 4 of them were super exciting, with Clemson winning on a game-winning Hail Mary, Middle Tennessee State completing a 17-0 comeback, Florida getting a late pick 6 to steal it away from Ohio State, and then TCU squeaking away from the Cinderella Cal Golden Bears. So in the semifinals, we have Clemson against Middle Tennessee State, Florida against TCU, and the winners will play in the national championship later today. Let's start with Middle Tennessee State and Clemson up first. This game feels like David and Goliath. You have David, which is Middle Tennessee State, a Group 5 team from the American Athletic Conference who went 11-1 in the regular season. They were down 17-0 early in this game against Oklahoma, but a late touchdown here by Luther Lexerus would propel the Blue Raiders to the shocking upset against the Oklahoma Sooners. Middle Tennessee State's got some unfinished business. They made the college football playoff last year when we had a 4-team playoff. They were the number 2 overall seed and lost by only 3 points in the first round to the eventual national champion Georgia Bulldogs. Middle Tennessee State's out for blood, but it's not going to be easy as they go up against the best team in college football, the Clemson Tigers, who are now still perfect, a total of 14-0. They barely beat Oregon on a last-second Hail Mary here from Kate Hutchinson over to Jordan Jones. This game wasn't necessarily perfect for the Tigers, but with 2 touchdowns in the final 30 seconds of regulation, they were able to pull it off and not let Oregon steal it away. Clemson has been dominant throughout the season. They have blown out big-time teams like Syracuse, Duke, and Florida State. Quarterback Kate Hutchinson won the Heisman Trophy. They've got plenty of other weapons on offense. Kobe Henderson, Latrell McAllister, Xavier Mayo has been balling here in the college football playoff, and their defense is really strong as well. Although they had a rough week last week, we'll see how they're able to do today against a very talented Middle Tennessee State offense. On paper, this is a game Clemson should win. And not just this game, but the entire championship overall. The college football playoff right now is Clemson's to lose. They are definitely a tier ahead of everybody else. So you think they are certainly the clear and obvious favorites to take it all the way. Can Middle Tennessee State continue their Cinderella run, or will the national championship favorite Clemson Tigers advance to the national championship? So let's get this started. We've got the number 4 seed, Middle Tennessee State. I know it says they're 2. Again, I had to do stuff on different save files, so the rankings aren't accurate, but the rosters are. Number 4, Middle Tennessee State against number 1, Clemson, for a spot in the national championship against the winner of Florida and TCU, which of course will be right after this game. So we'll get to see Clemson on offense first. Let's get a look at the Heisman Trophy winner, Kate Hutchinson, who threw for 4 touchdowns in the previous round against Oregon. On first down, Hutchinson starts quick with a nice little throw to the fullback, Robert Henry. Henry had a big touchdown late in the game last week, moments before the Hail Mary. As on first down, Hutchinson goes short, pass is caught, and that's going to be another first down by the All-American tight end, Latrell McAllister, who is projected as a top 15 pick in this year's upcoming NFL draft. Following play, Hutchinson under pressure. He sends it deep. It's caught by Robert Henry, who breaks a tackle. Henry, down the field. Can he take it the distance? Not quite. He'll get it to around the 6. Fullbacks are people too, baby. Robert Henry with 64 receiving yards on this opening drive. And then first and goal. Clemson looking to finish it off, but Hutchinson is wrapped up in the backfield for a loss of 5. Bolt Bebley, the senior linebacker, makes the play. Second and goal. Hutchinson under more pressure, and he is sacked. A big play there by Justin Kaplan on the corner blitz. And now it's third and goal. The Tigers backed up around the 20. Hutchinson under even more pressure gets rocked in the pocket. He's able to get rid of it, but Clemson will not be able to score a touchdown, so they'll instead tackle on a field goal to make it 3-0. That drive started off perfectly for Clemson, but you got to give Middle Tennessee State's defense some credit for really hanging in there in the red zone, only allowing 3. So here's the Blue Raider offense as Drain Ignatius, the junior quarterback, connects with his fullback, William Lee, for a gain of 22. Again, fullbacks are people too. 2nd and 2. Ignatius with a strike for the end zone. It's caught by Matt Burnett, the senior wideout, for a touchdown. So it looks like Middle Tennessee State has come to play with a very quick opening touchdown drive as the Blue Raiders lead 7-3. What a great throw there by the junior Ignatius, who was phenomenal in the previous round against Oklahoma. So Clemson has it back, 3rd and inches. Hutchinson wrapped up behind the first down marker on the read option. Bolt Bebley again makes the play. Clemson has to punt. Middle Tennessee State gets the ball. 2nd and 3. Britt loses around 4. Big play by the Tiger defense. The young defensive end, Kenneth Davis, is there to bring him down. And now it's a 3rd and 7 for Middle Tennessee State. Ignatius looks to throw it. It is caught for a gain of about 9 by Jacob Pitts, the slot receiver. Really good play by Ignatius. Patient in the pocket, waiting for somebody to get some space, and launches a dime. He launches another dime here, nearly intercepted, but it's hauled in by Luther Lexer, the hero last week, who gets 16 yards. That was a very risky throw, but it works out for Middle Tennessee State, and their offense continues their dominance. 3rd and 9, screen for Britt. He's going to get absolutely nothing, barely getting back to the line of scrimmage. So Clemson's defense is able to get a stop after all that, and they'll get the ball back, still 7-3. Nice run up the middle here for Kobe Henderson, his first touch of the game. Kobe Henderson is a little bit dinged up, so you might see less of him today. Obviously, he is a very big part of this offense. 2nd and 9, Hutchinson goes short. Pass is caught by the backup running back, Aquesto Chugalomoklo, who gets it to around the 6-yard line. Later in this possession, Kobe Henderson bruised his ribs, so he might actually not come back to the game. And Chugalomoklo is going to be getting a bulk of the carries from here on out as he gets the touchdown to put Clemson ahead 10-7. So a good drive there for the Tigers. Obviously sucks that they probably really won't have Kobe Henderson for the rest of this game. But Chugalomoklo is a very capable back. 3rd and 7, short throw over to Nehemiah Dalton. He only gets 2. Good stop by the Clemson defense. This game started off a little bit shaky for the Tigers, but they are looking a lot better over the past few minutes as they lead 10-7, and they do currently have the ball, looking to extend the lead here in the 2nd quarter. 3rd down and 8 for the Tigers. McAllister is the motion man for Clemson. Kate Hutchinson, the Heisman Trophy winner and projected #1 pick, with a beautiful throw to the sideline. It's caught by Jordan Jones, who was the hero last week. Jones is a projected 3rd to 4th round pick in this year's draft. 2nd and 8, nice run up the middle. That is Kobe Henderson. Still getting some run here despite his injuries, but again, I don't think you're going to see a whole lot more of him from the rest of the game, but it's good to see him still getting some action. Chugalomoklo on 3rd down goes backwards, wrapped up by Kenneth McGill. So Clemson has to kick the field goal. They'll double the lead, but it does remain a 1-score game, as it is now 13-7. There's the Kobe Henderson diagnosis. He is officially now out of the game. Clemson was really trying to milk it as long as they could, but at this point, Kobe Henderson can't play. So he is officially done. 3rd and inches. Britt only gets 3. A great tackle there by DeAndre Herring, the senior linebacker, projected as a probably 2nd-round pick in this year's draft. Clemson has the ball back, but Hutchinson loses 2 on the option. Kenneth McGill again makes the play. After a penalty, it's now a 3rd and 17 here for Clemson. Kate Hutchinson looks to go downfield, and he gets Mayo for a gain of 18. A beautiful throw by Kate Hutchinson, who once again is playing really well today. Good catch there as well by Xavier Mayo. 1st and 10. Here's Hutchinson on the option. He's going to lose 4. Wrapped up on the play by Chris Larson. 3rd down and 4 now for the Tigers. They're pretty much in fringe field goal range as Hutchinson's pass is caught, but out of bounds. So Middle Tennessee State gets the stop. What does Clemson do here in 4-down territory? They're going to kick. This is a pretty long one from around 54, and it is no good. So it'll remain a 1-score game. Clemson tries to go for their 3rd field goal of the half, and this one just barely misses out. It definitely had the distance. Probably would have had the distance from an extra 10 yards out, but it was wide to the right. So Middle Tennessee State will get it back. 3rd and 10. They go for a run, hoping Clemson's not going to expect it. And I guess they were right, as Britt gets 9, wrapped up by DeAndre Herring. And then on 4th and 1, they're going to kick. This is a 57-yard field goal. They think they have a better shot at a 57-yarder than getting a 4th and 1. And they end up making the kick, I still don't really get that call. You have a much better chance of getting 1 yard, but I guess they did what they wanted to on that play, so it is now 13-10. Clemson has it back. We'll see if they can extend the lead here late in the first half. Hutchinson up the middle for Xavier Mayo, who's continuing to play really well these past few weeks. Currently a projected 6th to 7th rounder in this year's draft, but his stock right now is definitely on the rise. On first down, Hutchinson goes back to Mayo, breaking tackles. Great play after the catch by Xavier Mayo. He's not the biggest guy, 5'10", probably 180 pounds. Probably going to be more of a slot guy in the NFL, but he is making plays on the outside right now for Clemson. The Tigers are moving it well once again, as on second down, Hutchinson looks to throw it, and he is intercepted. It's picked off by Eric Lilly, and he's going to take this one all the way for a pick six, and Middle Tennessee State takes the lead. Lilly had the game-clinching interception in the quarterfinals against Oklahoma, and now he makes a big play here in the semis to put the Blue Raiders up top 17-13, jumping the route. Mayo is the intended target, but Eric Lilly perfectly plays the ball, and the Blue Raiders are now on top. That's Hutchinson's first interception of the college football playoff. We'll see how Clemson answers back now that they're trailing. So a huge play there by the Middle Tennessee State defense as we go to the next Clemson possession. Looking to get the lead back before halftime, as on 2nd and 1, it's a play-action fake. Hutchinson's going to look to throw it, has time, and he is picked off again. Jamison Gray, the senior safety, with the interception. So Cade Hutchinson, who has only thrown 5 interceptions in, like 14 and a half games this year, has now thrown 2 on back-to-back passes. Middle Tennessee State gets it back on offense with a chance to make it a 2-score game going into halftime. As on third down, short pass caught by Luther Lexer as he gets around 13. The Blue Raiders moving the chains as they have all the momentum right now. They find themselves in a really good spot. Ignatius with a strike, that's a touchdown. William Lee, the fullback, with the score. And Middle Tennessee State is now up 24-13 here. Late in the half, Clemson's going to have one more shot to do something here with around 40 seconds. Here's Cade Hutchinson, goes short, pass is caught, and the ball is out. It's a fumble! Picked up quickly by Xavier Mayo. That could have been really bad. 3 consecutive turnovers like that. Clemson wouldn't do anything on offense after that, so it's 24-13 going into half. Middle Tennessee State's playing really well. They start with the ball as well in the second half. So the Blue Raiders are really in a good spot. They're currently in the driver's seat. We'll see if they can hold on. 3rd and 1. Britt loses a yard. Big stop by the defense. Alec Padfield, the young safety, brings him down. Clemson could not afford to let Middle Tennessee State score there. Now on the punt. Malachi Evans back deep to return. He muffs it and quickly scoops it up. Clemson is playing so sloppy right now with the turnovers, the muff punt, some of the penalties. I mean, the Tigers, it's gotten in their own head, I feel like. These silly mistakes need to be cleaned up here in the second half if they want to win this game. Short pass is caught past the 30. That's Matthias DeRitter, one of the other running backs. Again, seeing these guys get some extra playing time with no Kobe Henderson. On first down, Hutchinson loses 4 on the option. Middle Tennessee State is not falling for these gimmicky option plays. They're just not working for Clemson today. 3rd down and 16. Hutchinson looks to throw it, takes a shot deep downfield. It's caught by Mayo. He's wrapped up past the 25 for a gain of 50. Great throw by Hutchinson. Really good route and catch by Xavier Mayo. That duo is something else. Hutchinson again keeps it on the read option, and he again goes backwards, losing 3. Middle Tennessee State's defense is too smart to get caught up in this option garbage. I mean, the Blue Raiders are reading everything up right now. This is a really smart unit as Cade Hutchinson is still on the turf in pain. That could be really bad. The sophomore Cedric Chapman now in the game for the Tigers is on 2nd down. His first throw is a pretty good one. It's a touchdown for Aquesto Chigalamoklo to make it a 1-score game. Obviously, the bigger concern right now is Cade Hutchinson. If he's seriously injured, that's not good news for the Tigers. Cedric Chapman, who's expected to be the starting quarterback here next year, has not performed well in limited opportunities as a freshman and a sophomore, although that throw was pretty good. As you can see on the bottom, Cade has back spasms. He'll be fine to return to the game pretty soon, probably on Clemson's next offensive possession. 3rd and 3 here for Middle Tennessee State. About 2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Good run up the middle here by Barrington Britt as the Blue Raiders try to get some offensive mojo going here in the second half. because their offense has played a lot worse than they did in the first half. 2nd and 10 now from around the 46. Ignatius is rattled to the ground, losing 6, wrapped up by John Chernov, the talented linebacker. And so it is now a 3rd and long, 3rd and 16. Here for the Blue Raiders. Short pass caught, but only to back around the line of scrimmage by Lionel Turner. So it's a 4th and 8. Middle Tennessee State will punt it. And now Clemson can take the lead on this possession with Cade Hutchinson back under center as he keeps it on the read option. This time it works, and it works out quite well as Hutchinson gets it past the 50 for a solid gain of around 17 yards. Good run there for Cade Hutchinson. Not afraid to take a hit, although he probably should have slid there. I feel like he should try to avoid an injury. Hutchinson goes downfield, caught by Jordan Jones. He gets a solid gain of 19, bringing it to around the 30. So far, so good on this possession for Clemson. They've, for the most part, dominated here in the second half, as that pass is caught again by Jones, who takes a big hit. And that'll wrap up the 3rd quarter. A really strong quarter for Clemson. They are still losing, but they do get the ball in the red zone with an opportunity to take the lead here early in the 4th. 2nd and goal. Handoff for Chigalomoklo, and he is in for a touchdown. The backup running back, Questo Chigalomoklo, has the Tigers ahead, 27-24. Now it's up to Middle Tennessee State to respond. Ignatius on 1st down with a really nice throw over to Matt Burnett. So far, so good on this possession for Middle Tennessee State. They have it at the 22, as on 1st and 10. Ignatius with another good throw to bring him inside the 10. Middle Tennessee State is moving quickly on this possession. They want to get this lead right back, and on 1st and goal, they'll do just that. Jacob Pitts with the touchdown, and Clemson's lead does not last for long. The Blue Raiders are back ahead, 31-27. So now it's time for Clemson to respond. The biggest quarter in the career of quarterback Cade Hutchinson. So far, the biggest drive of his career, obviously playing through some pain. We'll see what he can do. He's on 1st down. He looks to throw it with a really nice throw up the middle. That one is caught by Xavier Mayo for a gain of around 14 yards. Clemson does not want Middle Tennessee State to stay up top for long. 1st and 10. Chigalomoklo with the handoff. He is blocks and is wrapped up past the 30. Good run there for Clemson. Their run game's been a little spotty today, but they have been doing a better job of running the ball here in the second half. And on 1st down, Hutchinson rolls to the right with a strike for Xavier Mayo. Fittingly that it's Mayo who makes the play for the touchdown, 34-31. 4.5 minutes left here in the 4th quarter as Britt makes a nice play for a gain of 14. Good move after the catch. He did get hit really hard, however. 3rd and 2 now for Middle Tennessee State, right on the cusp of field goal range. All they need is 3 to tie, although I don't think they're thinking 3. Good run there by Ignatius, who takes a tough hit, but he's able to hold on to the ball and keep himself upright. 2nd and 10 now. It's a handoff up the middle for Barrington. Britt with room. He gets the first and is wrapped up inside the 15-yard line. Middle Tennessee State's offense has been up to the test here in the 4th quarter, as on 3rd and goal, Ignatius with a strike. It's caught by Jacob Pitts for a touchdown, and Middle Tennessee State is ahead. Drain Ignatius is playing some great football here in the 4th quarter, and now back to square one for Clemson. A huge opportunity for the Heisman Trophy winner to show what he can do. Xavier Mayo left wide open for Lord knows what reason. He'll end up getting 28. 1st and 10 from around the 40. Hutchinson up the middle with a beautiful throw. It's caught by Robert Henry for a touchdown. The fullbacks continuing to make plays on this team, and Clemson is back ahead, 41-38. Cade Hutchinson has broken the school record for the most passing yards in a single game, set by, I would assume that's Taj Boyd back in 2012. So with 2 minutes to go, Middle Tennessee State is going to get the ball back. A 2-minute draw opportunity for Drain Ignatius in the offense. Ignatius has been fantastic here in the 4th quarter, and if he can lead Middle Tennessee State down the field to a touchdown, they very well might be in the national championship. Field goal ties as well, but Britt loses 5 on the first play of the drive. They would lose 5 more yards on 2nd down, making it a 3rd and 20. Drain Ignatius looks to throw it, dances in the pocket under pressure with a beautiful throw, and it's caught for a 1st down by Jacob Pitts, who's been the unsung hero in the 4th quarter with 2 touchdowns, and now that great catch. 2nd and 3. About 1:15 to go. Another nice pass. Middle Tennessee State now with it at the 41. It's Matt Burnett who makes the play, and they're getting pretty close to field goal range. Remember, Middle Tennessee State made one from 57 earlier in the game. Keep in mind there's no wind since we're in a dome. Third down, the pass is picked off. The defense makes a huge stand. Darren French, the strong safety, with the interception. And that might be your dagger. A thrilling national semifinal game ends in a Clemson turnover as the Tigers are going to the national championship, squeaking past Middle Tennessee State 41-38. You got to give the Blue Raiders a ton of credit because they do not have the roster talent that Clemson does, but they stayed in it the entire game. They were actually up by 11 going into halftime, but when Clemson needed to make plays in the second half, they did it. As I always like to say, big-time players make big-time plays, and Clemson has some big-time players on their roster, and those guys all made big-time plays today. So the perfect season lives on for Clemson. They will be going to the national championship, in which we will be watching that game later today after we find out who they will be playing between Florida and TCU. Cedric Chapman with a 648 passer rating, 1 throw, 1 touchdown. Kate Hutchinson, I thought, was really solid. Obviously, the 2 interceptions are not ideal, but he threw the ball well again today. And Clemson didn't really have a run game. They were really forced to throw it, so I think all things considered, Hutchinson, for the most part, was really good, especially in the fourth quarter, especially considering he was playing injured. Xavier Mayo totally balled out, 8 catches for 173 yards and a touchdown. And then the defense, it wasn't always pretty, but when they needed to get a stop at the end of the game, they did with the interception by French. On the other side, Drain Ignatius, this kid's a baller. If he returns to school next year, which I anticipate he will, he'll be a Heisman contender to start the year. He'll be a projected probably 1st to 2nd round pick. Really, really talented player. Barrington Britt played well. The receivers were good. Jacob Pitts was phenomenal in the fourth quarter. Nehemiah Dalton was pretty quiet, though. Only 3 catches for 17 yards. He was shut down today by Markeith Brown of the Tigers. Middle Tennessee State's defense had some good moments, but they laid an egg in the fourth quarter when it really mattered, ultimately leading to them losing. Let's get to the other semifinal game now. The number 7-seeded Florida Gators against the number 3-seeded TCU Horned Frogs for a spot in the national championship game against Clemson. Florida is the only team here in the semifinals who did not get a first-round bye. They've played in 2 games so far, barely beating Nebraska by just 1 and squeaking away from Ohio State with a late pick 6 by linebacker Giacomo Vivaro to lead them to the win. You can make the argument that Florida didn't deserve to win either of these games. However, I don't think you can make the argument that Florida doesn't deserve to be here because they absolutely do. They've been one of the best teams in the country this year. They have not lost since week 6 with many big wins throughout the season. I know it's been a rocky playoff for Ernie Capellar, but he's a very capable player. Elijah Bryant, we know, is a game changer. He was phenomenal against Ohio State. Plenty of talented receivers, and then, of course, the defense has been really good through 2 games. But it's going to be a challenge stopping this TCU offense. They're a very well-rounded group. TCU has a fun story because if you look at the other 3 teams in the semifinals, Clemson, Middle Tennessee State, and Florida, it's not really a surprise to anybody that those 3 teams made it here. However, it's certainly a surprise that TCU is here. The Horned Frogs only won 7 games last year. They were a mediocre team in a mediocre conference, but this year they really played well. A lot of big wins on the resume, beating Missouri, Houston, crazy comeback against Texas, Alabama, Baylor, Missouri again, and then Cal in the first round of the playoff, although they only won that game by 2 points. One of the most fascinating storylines in the entire country is the quarterback situation. Cade Brown was really solid as TCU's starter last year, but for whatever reason, they benched him for Sterling Yorkshire, a decision that has totally paid off. They've got plenty of talent on offense, led by Harry Stewart and Mario Hummeler, and then this defense is really solid. It's an older defensive unit. Of their main 11 starters, 10 of them are seniors, with the exception being sophomore pass rusher Jojo Adiamoa. So TCU is an older group. They're led by seniors on both sides of the ball. So for the Horned Frogs, if they want to win a national championship in this series, this is the year to do so. But they're going to have to get by a very talented Florida Gators team. Florida probably comes into this game as the slight favorite. I think they're a little bit better on paper, but I think we could really see this game go either way. 2 very, very talented teams. I think regardless of who wins, it should be an interesting game in the national championship against Clemson. So let's get this one started. The number 7-seeded Florida Gators facing off against the number 3-seeded TCU Horned Frogs for a spot in the national championship later today against the Clemson Tigers. It should be a fun one. This is going to be a really interesting game. I think both teams have very similar offensive capabilities. Both quarterbacks are pretty similar players, although Yorkshire for TCU has played better This year, of course, he has seemingly come out of nowhere as a 4-year backup, now being looked at as one of the best quarterbacks in the country. As he makes a great throw here for Jason Bell, the senior receiver, who gets around 15 yards. Good play there for TCU. The Horned Frogs already at the past midfield. 2nd and 9. The sophomore running back, Harry Stewart, with the ball, and he loses 3. Nice tackle by Sadiq Reed Jr., making the play for the Gators. And it is now a 3rd down and 12 for the Horned Frogs. Yorkshire under pressure, and he cannot get rid of it. It was supposed to be a screen pass, but he couldn't throw the ball. Wrapped up by Ken Sanders, who's had a sack in all 3 of Florida's playoff games. The Gators had the ball. Here's the tight end, Brandon Pickens, breaking tackles. Brandon Pickens is a yards after catch monster. We saw it in the Ohio State game. Put somebody in front of him, and Pickens is just going to level him. 2nd and 2, Florida getting pretty close to the red zone. Capillar fakes the sack, launches a strike for a touchdown to the tight end, Brandon Pickens. And the Florida Gators are off to a hot start. They lead 7-0. It's been a really good first few minutes here for the Gators with a quick stop and a quick touchdown drive. I think Florida has a little more on-paper talent than TCU, and so far they're showing it. Although we're only a few minutes into the game, I don't want to overreact, but wow, the Gators look good. When Ernie Capillar is actually aggressive, throwing the ball downfield, this is an explosive offense. So TCU has it back. Nice throw up the middle by Yorkshire into the hands of Josh St. George, the backup tight end, one of the better backup tight ends in the country. 3rd down and 7 now for TCU. What do the Horned Frogs have up in their sleeves here? Play action fake. Yorkshire goes short for Mario Hamler, the All-American tight end. He only gets 2. Giacomo Lavaro, the hero last week, brings him down. And TCU's going to go for the field goal, a 57-yard try to look to make it a 7-3 ball game. This kick is up, and it is no good. You may have noticed that TCU originally had a 4th and 5, and they kicked that on 4th and 10. That was because of a false start penalty prior to the field goal, and it had the distance from 57, so I think it was more so a matter of accuracy, so I don't think he would have made it if not for the false start penalty. But nonetheless, Florida gets it back. Elijah Bryant mauling through dudes as he gets 10. Bryant was a little quiet in the first game against Nebraska, but he was phenomenal in the previous round against Ohio State. Bryant, of course, projected to be the top running back off the board in what is a loaded running back class. 3rd and 9. Capillar's pass is incomplete under a lot of pressure. Nate Amazu with the hit, and Florida's going to look to tackle on 3 points, make it a 10-0 game as the kick is good. So the Gators are now ahead 10-0. Really good first quarter here for Florida as TCU gets it back. The Horned Frogs know they've got to score here. They certainly don't want this game to get ugly. Is on 1st down. Yorkshire throwing while he's under pressure. Connects with Cameron Lewis for a gain of 35. Lewis is a dynamic big play threat. He's not a guy who's going to catch 8-9 passes a game. But when he does catch the ball, he usually turns it into a pretty big game. Screen for Vlade Dugac on 1st down. He loses 3. Quick stop for the Gator defense, and that'll wrap up the first quarter. For the most part, it's been all Florida so far. The Gators lead at 10-0. Really good start for Florida. It looks like they want a date with Clemson in the national championship. There's still 3 quarters left. If TCU can score on this drive, particularly a touchdown, they'll be right back in the game. 3rd and 3. Yorkshire under pressure. Can't find an open receiver, but he does find open rushing room for a gain of 12. He probably should have slid instead of taking a hit, but whatever. It's still a 1st down. 3rd and 7 now from a little bit outside the 25. Good throw over to Mario Hamler, and he'll get 21 yards. So TCU's now in a goal line situation. They're having some trouble punching in as it's now 3rd and goal, 5 receiver set. Yorkshire keeps it himself on the QB draw, and he is in for a touchdown. The senior, Sterling Yorkshire, puts the Horned Frogs on the board. They're right back in the game, only down by 3. Huge drive for TCU. They needed to get some points, and they're only down by 3. Ernie Capillar loses 4 on the option. A few defenders are there, but it's Matumbe Afolabe, the senior linebacker, credited with the tackle, one of the many TCU defenders projected to go in this NFL draft. 3rd and 8, Capillar gets nothing. JoJo Adiamoa brings him down. Maurice Spence was there with the initial hit, and so TCU gets it back, now with an opportunity to take the lead. 3rd and 4, Yorkshire looks to go short. It's caught for an easy 1st down by the tight end, Mario Hamler, who gets 15. Hamler has made a big start here. Again, this is a guy being looked at as a 1st-round pick in this year's draft, and right now he looks like a 1st-rounder. 3rd and 8, screen for Stewart, and he loses 5. Big stop by the Florida defense. Chris Allen brings him down. And the field goal unit is back. TCU missed one from 57 earlier, so they'll try 57 from the other side. And who could have guessed it's no good? Again, not accurate, and I don't even think this kick had the distance. As you can see here, it was actually barely missed by mere inches. So not even that bad of a kick, but it still doesn't go in. Florida with good field position on 3rd and 5. Short pass is caught by Chris Gentry, and he only gets 3. Big tackle there by Nate Amazu, the senior corner, to bring him down. And TCU will get it back. Low-scoring game, 10-7. Both defenses playing really well as Harry Stewart breaks a couple of tackles. There goes Stewart with blocks down the field. Nobody's going to catch him, and he could go all the way. TCU takes the lead. A huge run by the sophomore running back, Harry Stewart, to break this game open for the Horned Frogs. There hasn't really been much offense here in the second quarter, really throughout the entire game, if we're being honest. But TCU with the biggest play of the night. A huge touchdown by Harry Stewart, breaking tackles with great blocks, and it's hard to beat Harry Stewart in a foot race. So TCU's now ahead 14-10. Can Florida get the lead back? Capillar on 2nd and 6, going to run for the first down, breaks a tackle, and is wrapped up by Matumbe Afolabe, but not before bringing it to the 40. 2nd and 5 now for Florida. Capillar learn in the backfield as he's going to look for the sidelines of a strike into the hands of Chris Carpenter for a gain of 20. So the Gators are moving it pretty nicely down the field. They have it at the 36 on first down. Ernie Capillar with a nice pass up the middle for another first down. This time it's Chris Gentry who gets around 13 yards. Ernie Capillar is really spreading the ball around. Everybody's getting touches here on the offense. 2nd and 3 now. Florida in the red zone. Capillar looks to throw it on the slant route. It's caught by Deontay Perkins, the senior wide receiver, currently a projected day 3 pick in this year's draft as he gets it to around the 5. 1st and goal, more like the 2, I should say. Capillar again looks to throw it, rolls out to the right. He's going to try to run it in himself. Capillar fumbles in, and it's picked up in the end zone by the fullback, David Bush, for a touchdown. An unlikely score for the Gators, but they will take the lead here late in the first half. Ernie Capillar fumbled it right on the goal line. That could have been catastrophic for Florida. Maurice Spence is the one delaying the hit. That ball clearly out. But David Bush, the fullback, with a really smart play to quickly scoop up the ball for the touchdown. And Florida is back on top. The Gators lead 17-14, and now it's time to see if TCU can get this lead back. First down, Sterling Yorkshire with a bomb downfield. It's caught by Jason Bell for a gain of 36. That was pretty good coverage by Yambo Okpoko, but Bell was able to create just enough separation right at the end to haul in the pass. Yorkshire goes down towards the other side of the field, and it is caught by Cam Lewis, who gets absolutely decked by the safety, Victor Ridgewood II, but not before getting a big first down. Following play, here's Yorkshire. He only gets around 2. Sterling Yorkshire on the turf in pain, but with the clock running, TCU still wants to go no huddle. Sterling Yorkshire is going to remain in the game. He's going to try to tough it out despite clearly being hurt. 2nd and 8, under 30 to go in the half. Yorkshire with a great throw for the end zone. It's caught by Joel Kelly for the touchdown, and TCU is back ahead late in the first half. Sterling Yorkshire is a tough cookie, man. Getting some snaps while injured. I mean, clearly in a lot of pain there, but he still makes a perfect throw to put TCU up top late in the first half, 21-17. The Horned Frog faithful enjoying it right now. It was a rough first quarter for TCU, but they're starting to play a lot better, really getting comfortable here. Obviously, the question is, what's the deal with Sterling Yorkshire's injury? He was able to make the one throw, but as you can see here, he suffered an abdominal strain. He will be questionable to return. You'd assume he will probably come back at some point, but he's probably not going to be able to play the third quarter. So Cam Brown will now be in at quarterback for TCU. This is like the traditional Disney movie script where you have Cam Brown, who's been the starter the last 2 years, played well, got benched at the beginning of the year, and now the game is kind of on his shoulders in a sense, although Florida does start with the ball here in the third quarter. Capillar is throttled to the ground on 2nd and 10 by Roderick Williamson for a loss of 4. Williamson had 2 interceptions in the first game of the playoff against Cal. 3rd and long. Capillar looks to throw it downfield, and it is broken up. Roderick Williamson again makes the play. Here's the TCU offense now featuring junior quarterback Cade Brown. As on 3rd and 6, Brown goes short, caught by Jason Bell. for a gain of 11. Cade Brown is a very capable quarterback. Again, he's been a good starter for them the last 2 seasons. Brown on first down, looking to break the tackle, but he is sacked. Giacomo Vivaro finishes it off. Chris Allen with the initial hit, and so it is now a 3rd and 12. Brown looks to throw it, dances in the pocket with a great throw to the sticks in the hands of Jason Bell, who's playing really well today for TCU. 5 catches, 81 yards. He's been very impactful regardless of who's been in the game at quarterback. Brown keeps it on first down. Cade Brown breaking tackles, gets 11, and TCU now has it on the goal line. New quarterback, no problem. The Horned Frogs are moving it well, but on first down, Harry Stewart is going to lose 2. He's been pretty quiet since the big touchdown. Sadiq Reed Jr. brings him down, and it's now a 3rd and goal here for TCU. Brown looks to keep it himself, finds the open rushing lane, and is in for a touchdown. What a great drive there by the backup quarterback, Cade Brown, to lead TCU down the field. The Horned Frogs have now scored 28 of the last 35 points after starting this game down by 10. They now lead by 11, and Florida's got to answer because they don't really have much momentum. Short throw, hold them by Deontay Perkins. Makes a nice play after the catch for a gain of 13. Florida's strong start in this game is really the reason why they're still in, and they have to capitalize, not with silly screens on first down, as Bryant loses 5, wrapped up by the nickel corner, Chaz Fogel. 3rd and 10. Another screen for Bryant. This time it kind of works as he gets around 8 or 9, but he stumbles backwards, shy of the first down marker. Jeremy Hart with the tackle as TCU gets it back. Harry Stewart on 2nd down breaks a tackle, hit hard out of bounds, but not before gaining 11. Good run there by Stewart. Cade Brown, of course, still in at quarterback as on 3rd and 2. He does not get the first down, loses 2, wrapped up by Giacomo Vivaro, who had the big pick 6 last week. We are now through 3. TCU 1 quarter away from advancing to the national championship, but Florida's not out of it. 28-17 your score, Horned Frogs ahead. 3rd and 5 to start the 4th. Elijah Bryant only gets 3. Big stop there by the defense. I believe that was Lyle Callaghan, the 3 safety, who brought him down. Florida says, F it. Why not go for it on 4th down? And it works. Big run for Elijah Bryant as he gets 16. Bryant is having himself another nice day, and Florida's going to keep needing him to make plays if they want to come back and win this game. So the Gators move the chains. They keep the drive going. 1st and 10 from the 39. Capillar dancing in the pocket. He's going to look to run for the first down, and he does. I feel like these QBs take way too many hits. I get it's college. They're not as aware, but still, sometimes you got to go down, even if it results in getting a few less yards. Bryant trucks the defender, Callaghan, but he does get 13 for another first down. And then on the following play, Capillar on the slant route over to Deontay Perkins. He brings it to the 1. Really nice drive here for Florida to put themselves back into the game, but they are having some trouble punching it in here. 3rd and goal, handoff for Bryant, and he is just shy by mere inches. Big Perk Thorncroft, defensive tackle, brings him down. 4th and goal, they're going to go, and Bryant is in for a touchdown. Quick and easy 4th and goal there for the Gators. They're only down by 5. Got to assume they're going to look to go for 2. They missed a couple of 2-point conversions last week, but if they could do that again, then they'll only be down by 3. It is a pass, however. Capillar gets it to Deontay Perkins, and the Gators only trail by 3. 28-25 now your score. We've got ourselves a ball game here, and now TCU's got to respond. 3rd and 4 for the Horned Frogs. Hummler is in motion. Yorkshire under pressure, and it's sacked. Giacomo Vivaro making huge plays late in this game. As I like to say, big-time players make big-time plays. 2 weeks in a row now where Vivaro has taken over late for the Florida defense. Field goal ties, touchdown takes the lead now for the Florida offense. Although TCU has been by far the better team since the first quarter, the Gators are starting to get some of that early game momentum back. 2nd and 5, Elijah Bryant trucking through defenders, pushed out of bounds at around the 36. A huge run for Bryant as he gets 16 yards. 2nd and 6, back up the middle for Bryant. Breaking tackles inside the 25. Elijah Bryant is just a different breed. Florida right now is leaning on their best player here in crunch time. And again, big-time players make big-time plays, although he is short of the yard to gain. So it's an interesting 4th and inches. What do you do here if you're Florida? Down by 3. Do you kick the field goal and tie, or do you go for it? Well, with not a whole lot of time left to go, they are going to choose to kick the field goal with about 1:40 left. the kick is good, and they tie it. I don't think that's a terrible call. I would certainly consider going for it, but sometimes you just got to take the points, make sure the game is tied, put the game in the hands of your defense. So let's see if Sterling Yorkshire can lead a game-winning drive for TCU and put the Horned Frogs into the national championship. On first down, Yorkshire starts off with a bang as it's caught at the 40. A huge play there for Jason Bell. Quick start for TCU. All they need is a field goal because the game is tied. 2nd and 9. Yorkshire backs up, goes for a screen over to Stewart with blocks down the field. Stewart takes it all the way for a touchdown. 39-yard score for Harry Stewart. That was quick. A 3-play drive for TCU. They find the end zone with Harry Stewart on the screen, and TCU leads by 7. Florida's got some time to tie it, but a really good drive there for TCU, wasting no time moving down the field with a couple of huge plays capped off by this touchdown by Stewart. So now it's up to Ernie Capillard to try to tie the game here for Florida and bring it into overtime. Let's see if he can do it. 3rd and 7 for the Gators. Capillard on the screen for Elijah Bryant. Weaving through defenders, he gets the first down to around the 44. I know Elijah Bryant is balling out here in the 4th quarter. You want to get him the ball, but with not a whole lot of time left, under a minute to go, we're going to have to see some downfield throws. Other guys, other than Elijah Bryant, are going to need to get involved. 2nd and 25 now after a series of penalties. Capillard looks to throw, and he's picked off. The nickel corner, Chaz Fogel with the interception, and this game looks like it's as good as over. Ernie Capillard unable to make a big play here in crunch time. All TCU needs is a first down to walk this one off and punch their ticket to the national championship, and they'll do just that on 3rd and 2 as Stewart gets around 8. We've got our final, we've got our championship game set. TCU will be facing off against Clemson in the Natty as they beat Florida 35-28. This game was really a tale of two. In the first quarter, it was all about Florida. In the second and third quarter, it was all TCU. And then to start the fourth quarter, it was all about Florida. And this game really came down to which team made plays down the stretch in the final 2 minutes. And that team was TCU with the big drive to score the game-winning touchdown and then the interception shortly thereafter. Florida gave a really good fight, but ultimately they didn't make plays down the stretch, which is ultimately what's going to cost them the game and, in essence, their season. Ernie Capillard wasn't horrible. He wasn't great. I'm really curious to see, if Ernie Capillard does return to school next year, which he probably will, what his role is going to be. Elijah Bryant has been the man on the offense, but Bryant is a senior. He's going to the NFL. This is going to be Ernie Capillard's team next year. I will say, speaking of Elijah Bryant, he was excellent, particularly in the fourth quarter. Again, big-time players make big-time plays, and he's a big-time player. Their defense had some good moments and some bad moments. Not a horrible performance, but not as good as the first couple of games in the playoff. And then for TCU, Sterling Yorkshire was really efficient, 16 of 18, 247 and 2 touchdowns. Keep in mind, he missed the third quarter, in which Cade Brown did more than fine, 4 for 5 with a rushing touchdown. Yorkshire also of the rushing score. Harry Stewart scored twice. He was very good today for TCU. Overall, a really strong game on offense for the Horned Frogs. And it wasn't always perfect. Obviously, the injury to Yorkshire wasn't ideal. The defense had some good moments, had some bad moments, but ultimately, when they needed to play, they got it with the interception by Fogel. So that'll bring us to the national championship. Clemson versus TCU. A champion will be crowned today. Both of these teams have very different stories, but they're two very talented squads. Last year, we had the number 3 seed Georgia Bulldogs beat the number 1 seed South Alabama in the national championship. And just like last year, we've got the 3 seed and the 1 seed. Number 3 TCU and number 1 Clemson. Can TCU repeat history and be the second 3 seed to win our college football next up national championship? These teams have very different stories. If you look at TCU, they were a team with no expectations other than to be solid at the beginning of the year. They made the shocking decision to start Sterling Yorkshire over Cade Brown, one that nobody really saw coming, but TCU saw something in Yorkshire that nobody else did. As for Clemson, they've been the best team in college football this year. They are easily the favorites to win this game. It's been pretty much a perfect season for Clemson. It's been a textbook perfect season for Cade Hutchinson. They're going to look to finish that off today and win the national championship. And if Clemson wins this game, they will cement themselves as one of the all-time greatest teams in the history of college football. Along with Clemson, this is the final game in the career of quarterback Cade Hutchinson. He's been deemed as the chosen one since the very first episode of this series. Hutchinson has been a 4-year starter for Clemson. He's been a Heisman contender since he was a freshman. He's probably going to be the #1 pick. Statistically, he's had the greatest college career ever. All he needed to do this season to cement his legacy was to win a Heisman Trophy and win a national championship. Well, he won the Heisman, and now it's time for Cade Hutchinson to finish off the job, win the national championship, and be looked at as maybe the greatest college football player ever. But they've got a big, mean TCU team standing in their way. I know Clemson on paper is better, and theoretically, Clemson should win this game. But TCU is a really, really good squad in their own right. Curious to see if they give them a game as the 2024 National Championship is underway. Malachi Evans will take a kneel in the end zone, and we'll get to see the Clemson offense first, featuring the Heisman Trophy winner at quarterback, number 9, the projected #1 pick in this year's draft to the Minnesota Vikings, Cade Hutchinson, as he hands it off for Kobe Henderson, back fully healthy, getting 12. Do not expect Kobe Henderson to have a snap limit. He's going to be in really the entire game. It's good to see him fully healthy and fully ready to go. Hutchinson on first down, a great throw into the hands of Kion Cordell, who gets around 19. With all of Clemson's main offensive weapons graduating and entering the NFL next year, Cordell is expected to be the #1 receiver in a year from now. Kobe Henderson with another nice first down run. Henderson's a very explosive player when he's healthy, and injuries have plagued him through his college career, but he right now looks like he's at full strength. 2nd and 7. Hutchinson navigates the pocket, and he's intercepted. Chaz Fogel, who had the game-clinching interception against Florida, now starts the national championship game with an interception. So TCU's defense forces a turnover, and the Horned Frogs will get the ball on offense. What a play for the TCU defense. Sterling Yorkshire on first down is hit hard in the pocket, sacked by John Chernoff for a loss of 6. Clemson's defense has been a little underwhelming here in the college football playoff, but they look hungry right now. 3rd and 8, short throw, caught by Harry Stewart, gets by a defender, and somehow gets the first down. I don't really know how that play worked, but it did. So TCU is going to keep the drive going. 2nd and 1 now for the Horned Frogs. Handoff up the middle here for Harry Stewart, breaking tackles. Stewart still on his feet, and he's going to get a solid gain of 22. Harry Stewart really played well against Florida. He's been really good throughout the entire college football playoff. Really, he's been great all year, keeping it going today as TCU's offense is looking really strong on this opening drive. Now just inside the 30 on first down, Sterling Yorkshire has time. Goes downfield, and it's caught by Mario Hummeler to the 5. Another fun storyline about this game is you have probably the 2 best tight ends in the country, Latrell McAllister for Clemson and Mario Hummeler for TCU, both supposed to be first-rounders this year, as Sterling Yorkshire walks into the end zone for the first touchdown of the game. Really good start for TCU. Now, Florida had this exact same start in the semifinal game with a stop and a touchdown, and TCU knows that's certainly not enough to be anywhere close to being in a position to win. But TCU is starting this game by setting the tone early. Textbook perfect start for the Horned Frogs. 3rd and 1. Hutchinson with a late pitch over to Henderson. He timed it perfectly, and Kobe Henderson gets a solid first down run. Kobe Henderson's got the ball up so far today, and he has been highly productive for the Clemson offense. Hutchinson sacked on first down for a loss of 3 by Kamani Battle, the senior linebacker. Again, one of the many guys on this defense projected to go into the NFL. TCU's probably not going to have any first or second rounders on their defense, but I wouldn't be surprised if 8 or 9 of these guys ended up getting drafted. I know that seems like a lot, but they've got a whole lot of good players. Hutchinson loses 3 on the option. Kamani Battle again brings him down. Battle's off to a great start here in the first half, as it's now a 3rd and 14 for Clemson. Cade Hutchinson looks to throw it. His pass is quickly thrown away. Cade Hutchinson usually likes to extend plays, and he didn't even try to there. He just got rid of it immediately, and Clemson's going to have to kick a field goal. The kick is up and good. And so the Tigers now trail 7-3. TCU has it back after a really good first drive. Yorkshire is picked off. Alec Padfield with the interception for Clemson. The game started off a little bit rocky for the Tigers, but now they're really starting to look a lot better. A huge turnover there by the safety Padfield, who had a really nice semifinal game earlier today against Middle Tennessee State, now forces a turnover against TCU. And Clemson now has a real opportunity to take the lead. 2nd and 10 for the Tigers. Hutchinson looks to throw it, dances around in the pocket, he's going to run. Hutchinson tries to stiff-arm the defender as he gets 11. Good run there for Cade Hutchinson, who has been a little bit shaky so far today. Hutchinson doesn't really look like himself. The jitters are still notable, but he is running it well as he runs it into the end zone for Clemson's first touchdown of the game, and the Tigers take the lead. It seems like Cade Hutchinson's got those butterflies, and I do understand it. It is the most important game of his career, and on this drive, it seemed like he looked a little bit less nervous and a little more poised and confident. So it's now 10-7, Clemson on top for the first time tonight. TCU with the ball back, 2nd and 2. Sterling Yorkshire keeps it on the option. Yorkshire is a very mobile quarterback. He's a really well-rounded player. He doesn't have any standout traits, but there's nothing he really can't do. Harry Stewart with a solid run of about 11 or 12. Both teams really running the ball well here in the first quarter. Neither team has thrown it all that well, but they're running it fantastically. Is fantastically a word? I don't know. 3rd down, Cameron Lewis with a gain of 13. Another good play after the catch by Cam Lewis, as TCU now has it inside the 25. Another good drive here for the Horned Frogs. Harry Stewart breaking tackles, but he does lose 2. A nice stop there by John Chernoff. He had the sack earlier. Chernoff off to a hot start here for Clemson as time winds down here in the first quarter. It's been a fun start. TCU dominated the opening few minutes, then Clemson went on a nice little run, but now TCU's moving it down the field, so it's been a pretty competitive game so far. 3rd and 10. Yorkshire looks to throw it. He has time under pressure, looking for the end zone. It's picked off. Zaire Olham picks it off, and Clemson will get the ball back. Sterling Yorkshire has now been intercepted twice here within the opening 8+ minutes of the game. Clemson gets the ball back. First play of the new drive. Hutchinson scrambles around, and he gets intercepted. Lyle Callaghan picks it off for TCU. Both of these quarterbacks are so efficient. They're two of the smartest players in the country, yet they've both been intercepted twice here in the first 8+ minutes of the national championship. So both QBs have really made a lot of errors today, and now it's back to square one. It's like both turnovers didn't even happen. 2nd and 10, screen for Stewart. TCU won the game last week against Florida on the screen as Stewart gets a nice gain inside the 10. TCU would be unable to punch it in. They're going to have to kick a field goal here on 4th and goal. They're at like the 1-yard line. And again, I get you want to kick. You don't want to give Clemson the ball back while trailing. But I think you at least got to consider going for it there on 4th and goal. So nonetheless, Clemson will get the ball back. Game tied at 10. Cade Hutchinson's not playing very well right now. He's turned the ball over twice. He's got to get it going as he launches a beautiful throw there for Xavier Mayo for a gain of 17. Mayo's been the go-to guy here in the playoff. We'll see if he can keep it going today. On 2nd and 2, Kobe Henderson with room down the field, breaks the tackle, and is wrapped up inside the 20 by JoJo Adiamoa, the only non-senior starter on the TCU defense. 1st down, Hutchinson leveled on the option by Kamani Battle, who's been the best player on the field for TCU's defense today. He has been very impressive, looking to improve that draft stock. 3rd and 14. Hutchinson sacked again. Take a guess who it is. Kamani Battle. 5 tackles, 4 for a loss, and 2 sacks here in the opening minutes of this game. He has been fantastic for TCU tonight. Clemson still with an opportunity to take the lead here with a field goal. This kick is from around 46, and it is good. So the Tigers are back on top, 13-10. Both defenses are really making a lot of plays in terms of getting to the backfield, obviously forcing turnovers. But both teams are running the ball well, too. As Stewart gets a 1st down before getting decked at midfield. Still a good run for Stewart, having himself another good game. 3rd and 7. Back up the middle for Stewart. TCU was hoping to catch Clemson off guard with the run, but it does not work. DeAndre Herring read the play like a book. Herring, the senior linebacker, with the play, and Clemson gets it back. Hutchinson on first down with a solid throw past the 30 into the hands of the tight end, Latrell McAllister, his first catch of the game, going for around 15. Second and 10, handoff here for Kobe Henderson. He powers his way up the middle for a solid run. So with both teams running the ball super well, I think the team with the best chance of winning this game is going to be the first team to really figure out how to throw the ball. And presumably that should be Clemson with Cade Hutchinson, but he's not making his throws today. He misfires on that one. Cade Hutchinson 5 of 16 right now with 2 interceptions. Clemson has to kick the field goal, and it is no good. So it will remain a 3-point game as the kick was offline to the left. Again, it looked like it had the distance. These kickers have some rockets for legs, but the accuracy a little bit off. So TCU gets it back. Harry Stewart up the middle with a big run to the opposing 45-yard line. Just over 2 minutes left to go in the half. We'll see if TCU can tie or take the lead on this possession. Now at the 45, another handoff up the middle for Harry Stewart. He gets a big gain. As I said on the last Clemson drive, I really want to see which team gets the pass game going. But I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's what TCU's doing right now. They're running at will. TCU's offensive line is dominating. Clemson's front unit just looks soft right now. And Harry Stewart is taking advantage of it. You got to give credit to everybody here in the TCU rushing game. The offensive line and Stewart are both all making plays. I think that's 4 consecutive snaps that have been a first down on a rushing play. The streak is over because TCU is on the goal line. They're having a little trouble punching it in. And on 3rd and goal, it's a late pitch to Stewart, and he is not in the end zone. He was really close. Again, TCU very well could rationalize going for it. They're so close. They were in this exact same situation down by 3 earlier in the quarter, and they once again will just take the points to tie the game. So Clemson's got an opportunity to take the lead here before half, tied at 13, minute and a half to go. Hutchinson on first down under pressure, and he is sacked. A big start to the drive for the defense as the Horned Frogs are already calling timeout. Seems a little bit early, but I guess they trust their defense to get a stop. 3rd down and 5 now, under a minute to go. Hutchinson under more pressure. He has to throw it away. It would have been smarter to honestly take the sack. I know you would have lost a few yards, but that would have forced either the clock to run out or TCU to burn a timeout. So TCU's going to get it with a timeout in just under 40 seconds. Good start to the drive as Jason Bell holds it in for a gain of 11. Now there's only 15 seconds left. TCU still has their timeout. They're not going to call it. Yorkshire keeps it on the option, and he gets a solid first down run. They're still not calling their timeout. I don't really get what TCU is doing here. Nothing TCU does make sense until they do it, and then you're like, oh, that actually makes sense. Although I really don't get the rationale here. They're going to run one more play before half, and Yorkshire's going to run with it. Sterling Yorkshire with blocks down the field. Are you kidding me? Sterling Yorkshire with a buzzer-beater touchdown to end the first half to put TCU ahead. As I just said moments ago, nothing this TCU team does makes any sense until they do it. And it works out perfectly. That's been the story of this team the entire year. It started with starting Sterling Yorkshire in the first place. You see it with their play calls. You see it with how they win football games. And they did it again there by completely mismanaging the clock. But they just caught everybody off guard other than themselves. 20-13 at half. TCU has the lead. And the Horned Frogs do start with the ball in the 3rd quarter. TCU can really break this game open with some points on this drive, looking to make it a 2-score lead. Yorkshire on first down with a nice throw, caught by Cameron Lewis for a gain of 11. Obviously, the 2 interceptions were not ideal, but Yorkshire seems to be getting a little bit more comfortable throwing the ball. I don't think Harry Stewart got the first down there, but they're going to give it to him anyway as he gets around 10. Solid gain. TCU now in the red zone, 3rd and 6. Clemson really cannot afford to let them score a touchdown here as it's a handoff for Stewart, and he only gets 3. Wrapped up quickly by the defense, and after a false start penalty, they would move back 5 yards. So it's 4th and 8. Field goal try is good, and TCU holds a 2-score lead as it's now 23-13. Clemson's got to respond. Cade Hutchinson still really not playing all that well. Kobe Henderson's been the go-to guy, and Henderson's been darn good out of the backfield as he gets it to the 31-yard line. Good run there for Kobe Henderson. He continues to ball out, but Clemson's going to have to figure out something in the passing game. 1st and goal. Handoff for Henderson, and he trucks his way in the end zone for a touchdown. Big drive for Clemson. They needed to get themselves back into the game, and now they're only down by 3. So it's 23-20. TCU still has slight control of this game, but it's still really anybody's ball game. As on first down, it's a handoff up the middle for Harry Stewart with plenty of room. He gets past the 50. Stewart has to have like 9 or 10 first downs today. And it's not just like short first down runs. It's all 10-plus yard gains. Here's another one for Harry Stewart. There's so much room up the middle. Clemson's got to play a little bit more for the run. Maybe get your safeties in a little bit. It's not like TCU's really taking shots downfield. 2nd and 11. Screen pass caught by Bell. He gets the first down inside the 10. A huge play for TCU. They're getting really close here to the end zone. Can they punch it in and extend this lead? 1st and goal now for the Horned Frogs. Yorkshire looks to run with it, and Sterling Yorkshire is in for a touchdown. That's a hat trick. 3 rushing touchdowns today for Sterling Yorkshire. His legs have been even more impressive than his arm in this ball game. And TCU is now back ahead by 2 scores. A big drive for the Horned Frogs. A really cool moment here on the sideline as Cade Brown and Sterling Yorkshire embrace each other, the 2 quarterbacks. So Clemson's got to respond, and they won't. Hutchinson loses 4 on the option, wrapped up by Kamani Battle once again. TCU with it back late in the quarters on 3rd and 7. Stewart does not get a whole lot. So Clemson's run defense finally makes a play, and they'll get it back on offense. 3rd and 6. Hutchinson fakes the sack. Good throw over to Xavier Mayo. One of Hutchinson's best plays of the day. Under pressure, threading the needle. I know it's been a rough one here for Cade Hutchinson. He hasn't played all that well through 3 quarters, and TCU just needs a good performance in the 4th quarter. That's the only thing in their way of becoming the national champions. On the flip side, Clemson's offense hasn't been great today. Cade Hutchinson has laid an egg, but if he can lead a comeback in the 4th quarter, all will be forgiven. Hutchinson on first down, the good throw over to Jordan Jones. He will get a solid gain of 16 yards. I think Hutchinson is starting to play a little bit better here in the second half. Still not pretty per se, but Kobe Henderson now loses 4, wrapped up by JoJo Adiamoa. 3rd and 7, one of the biggest plays of the game so far. Hutchinson looks to throw it. He goes short, and it's broken up. He had a receiver open, but he couldn't corral it in. 4th and 7, Clemson says, what is there to lose at this point other than the entire national championship? So they're going to go for it. Hutchinson looks to throw it under pressure, and it is broken up. Again, not really a bad throw, but really good defense by the TCU secondary, and the Horned Frogs now have a chance to make it a 3-score lead here in the 4th quarter. On 2nd down, Stewart loses 2. DeAndre Herring, who now has 16 tackles today, holy hell, brings him down. Herring's been one of the only guys on this defense to step up. 3rd and 4, screen for Harry Stewart. He'll get the 1st and more. Stewart down the field into the red zone. He is wrapped up past the 10 at the 8. A big play for Harry Stewart. TCU is so close to this end zone. 2nd and goal. Yorkshire looks to throw it, and it is caught for a touchdown by Vlade Duvac. Don't look now, but the TCU Horned Frogs are up by 3 possessions in the 4th quarter. TCU is fully in control of this game, and Clemson's going to need a miraculous comeback if they want to come back. TCU is really digging in right now. Sterling Yorkshire is making plays here in the second half, and Cade Hutchinson is going to need the biggest quarter of his collegiate career to win his team the game. 2nd and 1. Hutchinson, good throw up the middle. Nice play after the catch for a solid first down by Kion Cordell. Clemson's moving it pretty nicely so far on this drive. 1st and 10. Cade Hutchinson looks to throw it, has time over to Malachi Evans, who breaks a couple of tackles. Big play after the catch for Evans as he gets 21 yards. Malachi Evans is the main kick returner. He's going to get even more snaps next year at wide receiver with Jordan Jones and Xavier Mayo entering the NFL. Clemson's really looking good on this drive. Hutchinson looks comfortable for the first time today as he gets it to Latrell McAllister for a gain of 16. If only Cade Hutchinson was playing like this the entire game, then Clemson probably would be winning. Hutchinson keeps it on the option, breaks the tackle. Hutchinson with a first down inside the 10. A nice run there for Cade Hutchinson. Clemson getting very close to the doorstep of the end zone. 1st and goal, handoff for Malachi Evans, and he is in for a score. So Clemson's only down by 10 A really good drive by the offense, a really quick drive as well, and that's going to be important with the clock. As you can see, not a whole lot of time left in this ball game. We've got just over 5 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. It is still a 2-possession game, and TCU does have the ball, so presumably if the Horned Frogs can chew some clock and maybe score here, then I don't think Clemson's got a real shot to win this game. 3rd and inches, Clemson needs a stop. Yorkshire goes short, and it's caught by Josh St. George for the first down. You'd think when you're trying to chew the clock, he would run the ball, especially with how well TCU has ran it today, but they're not. They've thrown the ball on every single play on this possession, and they're going to keep doing it, and I guess it keeps working. Josh St. George again with another nice play. As I've been saying throughout this game, nothing TCU does make sense. Throwing the ball while trying to chew clock does not make sense, but as they're doing it, it's working perfectly. They're moving down the field with ease. Josh St. George is making all of these plays. 2nd and 5, back to St. George. They've thrown the ball every single play on this drive. Josh St. George is like 4 separate catches. Once a high recruit at tight end, he's going to be the full-time starter next year with Mario Hamler entering the NFL draft. Now 2nd and goal. Fittingly, they end the drive with a pass, and it's caught for a touchdown by Mario Hamler, one of the leaders on this team, the All-American tight end, with possibly the play to ice the game. TCU chews the clock by throwing the ball on every single play, and it works to a T, as the Horned Frogs now lead by 17 points, and Clemson's going to need an absolute miracle if they want to win this game. Mario Hamler sitting on the sidelines like he knows what's going on, but truthfully, TCU, they can't really know what to expect. They've never been here before. Another interception. Nate Amazu picks it off for TCU. Cade Hutchinson has now been intercepted 3 times today. As you can see him on the sideline with his head held down. He has just not had a good game today, flat out. TCU has it back, but not for long. First play of the drive is an interception for Markeith Brown. The Clemson defense hoping to make a play here, so I guess TCU will turn it over here, and Clemson's going to get it back on offense. A 4th and 2 for the Tigers. Handoff for Kobe Henderson. He'll get the first down. A solid gain there for Clemson as he gets around 9. Kobe Henderson has stepped up to the plate today here in the national championship, but I can't say that about their quarterback. 4th and 10. Hutchinson goes short for McAllister, who only gets 5. What was Cade Hutchinson doing there? He threw it to a receiver who had 2 defenders in between him and the first down marker. So at this point, the clock is going to run out, and there you go. TCU shocks the world. Who could have seen this coming at the beginning of the year, as the Horned Frogs have won the 2024 College Football Playoff NCAA Next Up National Championship, and they did it in pretty decisive fashion. Clemson was never really out of the game until the end, but TCU was in control the entire game, winning by 3 possessions, 44-27. Every facet of the game for TCU was good. The offense, the defense, the special teams, they were better than Clemson today, flat out, and they absolutely deserve to win this national championship. So let's reflect on both of these seasons. We'll start with TCU. They won the game. What a story about this TCU team. In the season preview I went over 40 or 50 teams who I thought had a real shot to be relevant in this series and win the national championship. TCU was not one of them. TCU was not in our season preview. And then it got even weirder of a start for them when they started Sterling Yorkshire over Cade Brown, when Yorkshire, a career backup, has never started a game in his life, but he led TCU all the way here. And congratulations to Sterling Yorkshire, as he has been named the College Football Playoff MVP here for season number 2. I will say it was a lot harder than last year to name a College Football Playoff MVP. Last year it was pretty easy with how good Patalomayo Maluwalu was for Georgia, running for 9 touchdowns in the 2 games. But I think it deserves to go to Sterling Yorkshire. I know he threw 3 interceptions today, but other than that, he was pretty much flawless through the 3 games TCU played against Cal, Florida, and now here against Clemson. Yorkshire with 5 all-purpose touchdowns today, 2 in the air, 3 on the ground. He's been great all year, and he stepped his game up in the playoff. Harry Stewart was also great. He certainly makes a real case to win the playoff MVP. He had 300 all-purpose yards of offense today. So if you think Harry Stewart deserves to win the playoff MVP, I really don't blame you. All of these receivers made plays. The defense made plays. Kamani Battle in particular. He was a total game record today. 5 TFLs, 2 sacks. Afolabi was good. The secondary was really good with 3 interceptions. TCU did something that nobody's been able to do in the last 4 years, and that stopped Cade Hutchinson and the Clemson offense. So Clemson's perfect season falls just short. What does this mean for this team's legacy? Because I think through the 2 seasons of this series, Clemson is by far the best team we've had, but they didn't step up in their biggest game, and it all circles here to Cade Hutchinson, who has had the perfect college career. 4-year starter. He's been elite ever since he stepped on the field for Clemson. He's been drooled by NFL scouts for the last 4 years. All he needed to do to cement himself as maybe the greatest college football player ever was to win the national championship. And in the biggest game of his career, he laid an egg. 23 for 41, 222, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He was a little better in the second half, but, I mean, not really. I mean, the moment just looked too big for him. And what does this mean for Cade Hutchinson's legacy? How will you guys remember him? Will you remember him as this dominant quarterback who, again, is the most statistically impressive player at the position in college football history? Or are you going to remember the guy who laid an egg in the biggest game of his career? And I think you could go either way. What does this mean for his draft stock? Does he still go number 1 to the Minnesota Vikings? A team who, like Cade Hutchinson, is always really good until the big moment, and they sputter. You know who didn't sputter today? Kobe Henderson. He was great. 208 yards on 8 yards per carry with a touchdown. He was phenomenal despite being banged up. He played great. McAllister and Mayo were both pretty solid. Both of those guys are going to be great NFL players. But I think along with Cade Hutchinson, you got to blame the offensive line, at least the pass blocking. The run blocking was really good. The pass blocking, not so much. And then the defense wasn't horrible, but it wasn't good. They made some big plays, but they weren't consistent throughout the game. And although Cade Hutchinson's the main reason why they lost, he's not the only reason why they lost. If Cade Hutchinson had played like he normally had played, maybe Clemson wins this game, but there's still a chance they don't. Their whole team let them down for the most part. So there you go. Congratulations to the TCU Horned Frogs for winning the 2nd national championship of the series, joining the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia started as the preseason number 1 the year they won the national championship, while TCU, I don't even know where they were ranked. Maybe like number 50, if I were to guess? I don't know. So that's going to wrap up the episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode and this season as a whole. The episodes for this series will come out a little bit slower within the next couple of weeks because I've got to get stuff set up for season number 3, working on all the rosters and the custom players and whatnot. So episodes are going to come out a little bit slower, but I'm excited to get the ground rolling for season number 3. It should be a lot of fun. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.